everybody, and welcome to the final episode of the season, that is, for Picture This Movie Reviews. We have the gang all here tonight. We're a little surprised that Seth was able to make it with his busy schedule, but his work let him off early just so he could be here with us today. So thank you for that and acknowledging us as a true powerhouse that we are. That's not true, but we are happy that Seth is here. As is tradition, we're going to go ahead and go around the round table. I don't think there's any need for introductions after our introduction piece that Matt put together for us, all zappy and zazzy. So we'll just go ahead and start in the top left corner here, at least to me. Mr. Matt, do you see anything good this week or have anything good happen this week that you'd like to talk about?
I did, but before I do, I just want to throw out that as we record this, I have a live bird in my house. So if you see something flying around or if I just randomly jump up, that's because I'm trying to get said bird out of my house. And I've been trying for about 40 minutes now, and it's just so far hasn't happened.
Guys, Matt will go to any lengths at this point to get more views for his videos, and that includes getting live birds, at least in his home. So
yes.
No, the bird is gonna do like it's gonna end up turning off your mic, and then it's just gonna be like, no,
Yes.
Matt.
Yeah.
Like your dog used to do.
Yeah. The dog would still do, except every week before we record, I take the dog's collar off. So when he shakes, it doesn't affect my audio. But what did I see this week? I didn't watch much of anything except, there was that one thing. I went and saw Spider-Man No Way Home. And it was like a kid at a candy store. And because all of us have not seen the movie, I mean, I could do a whole show just on this movie. And I want to do a whole show just on this movie. But because some of us have not seen Spider-Man yet, but it's okay. It's like technically only day one out as we record this. I won't go into any detail, but I will say it was freaking great. 10 out of 10. Best movie of 2021. Best Spider-Man movie. And possibly the best Marvel movie.
Man, those are some strong words there.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Seth, hard to follow that, but I'm going to give you a try. Why don't you tell us how your week was? Catch us up a little bit.
Week's been pretty good. Wrapping up my my semester at college. I did that today, actually. So I'm finally free to watch whatever movie I want to and not have to have any distractions, which is nice. My cat wants to be let in, so excuse me. But yes, week was good. College done for a few weeks, and I watched a lot of Seinfeld.
Oh,
Awesome.
That's good.
Well, guys, the solution to Matt's problem is currently in Matt's room. So somehow
right.
we just got to link those two guys up. The cat.
Currently in Seth's room, you mean?
Yes. So we just need to, link them up, do some Tom and Jerry action, or I guess Sylvester and Tweety Bird action. Get that taken care of.
Wait, Seth, didn't you see Kingsman?
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, my cat
Forgot
distracted
about
me and I
it.
forgot. It wasn't
Yeah.
that great. It was pretty easily forgettable. Yeah, so the new Kingston movie. I got invited to a free showing at my local Alamo, and so I went. And it's kind of like a cool, if you want to say experience. I mean, getting invited to a free movie is cool, but they gave out a poster, which is right here. With Rasputin on there.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's cool getting a little free thing. But I'm a big fan of the first two Kingsman movies, but I wasn't so huge on this new one. It wasn't bad. It just didn't feel like a regular Kingsman movie to me. But it's fine. 6 out of 10. Watch it if you want to. If not, you're not gonna miss much. So.
Sweet. Well, thanks for giving us the inside scoop on that. I know Matt had sent us some text messages about it too, that the reviews aren't not too great for this either. Personally, haven't seen the movie, which is really unfortunate that that's getting such low ratings, because I really did enjoy the first two of those. So, all right, Miss Kayla, I'm pretty sure I know where you went. At least I think I know where you went. But what did you see this past week?
I saw Spider-Man last night.
Sweet. So what'd you think?
I'm only gonna say my rating, and it is 10 out of 10.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Wait, I'm not finished.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm trying to think if I saw any other movies. Did I watch any other movies? What was this week? No, I was totally busy this week, so no. Spider-Man was the only movie I saw, and I would watch it for the rest of the year if I had to.
I second that. I would watch it every day for the rest of the year.
So if anybody wants to hook me up with free tickets, you know.
Hey man, support your local theaters. Hook up with that Regal play or whatever that is.
That's pretty cool.
Then you can just go into the movie theaters whenever you want. Just pay for your popcorn.
Just do what Seth's movie theater does, which is just give free tickets to movies. Which where the heck, why don't I live in Virginia where this movie theater is and gives out free tickets?
I lived in Virginia where Seth lives, and I never got a free ticket to that theater. So
no, I'm good much that I do. I'm there like every week.
There we go.
Well,
it's like a special occasion thing. That's really all it was.
So you have the inside track there, folks. You want to get into movies, you gotta go meet up with Seth and figure out his secret methods.
It's my low cut pullover jacket. That's what it is.
No, that's what it is with the zipper. You guys missed that earlier, but a lot of zipper action for Seth on his jacket. Now getting away from that awkward moment, guys, moving into my week. Had a pretty eventful week. Was able to grand open a new Aldi store. I got to do a little speech. One of the senators from Maryland came out. They did a whole big thing there, but very successful opening. Great start for me, for my company there. So really exciting. As for movies, yes, kind of uneventful, except for the fact that I too went with this one over here to go see Spider-Man No Way Home, and I got to tell you, loved it. I already said to these guys in a text, 10 out of 10 for me. I'm actually right there with Matt. This might be my all-time favorite Marvel movie. But Seth, we can't wait for you to see it so we can talk about it with you.
I can't wait.
So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Sunday, you said you're going?
Sunday, 2 p.m.
So
we'll catch up 4:30.
Yeah, so the day that you guys are watching this episode, Seth will be either have already watched this or will be watching this. Just depends if you watch it the day this video drops. So
no spoilers, people.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Don't spoil. No spoilers.
But outside of that, guys, we're going to get to the next segment on our beautiful picture this page. Mr. Seth is our wonderful news guy. Do you have any news for us this past week? What's going on in the movie?
Another very, very busy news week. So buckle yourselves in because I'm going to be talking a lot. Kicking things off, Corey Stoll will be playing MODOK in Ant-Man 3. If I remember correctly, wasn't Corey Stoll the Yellow Jacket guy from the first Ant-Man? I don't know. Okay, well, whoever Corey Stoll is, he's playing MODOK. I'm not huge on the Ant-Man movies. I love Paul Rudd, just not huge on the Ant-Man movies. So I'm not familiar. Next up, Brad Pitt is set to star in an F1 racing movie with Joseph Kosinski set to direct, and there's a huge bidding war going on for this movie, and not just for streaming, it's like for theaters as well. Like everyone wants a piece of this movie, so we'll see where it ends up at. But Brad Pitt, and then as you all like to make fun of me about, it has cars in it, so I'm already interested in it. But we'll see where that one ends up at. Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans is set to be released November 23rd, 2022. Had no idea this was even happening, but it's a Spielberg movie, so I'm sure it'll probably end up being good.
This isn't the Western that you were talking about
No.
last week, was it? Okay.
No, it's not. It's just something else. I don't know.
Yeah, do we have a synopsis on it, or like any idea what it's going to be about?
I don't think I saw anything. Let me just quickly look it up real quick.
So, Dan and Kayla, about No Way Home.
I will leave this meeting.
Well, I can tell you that
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Get on the naughty list, Matt.
This is a semi-autobiographical words I can speak. Coming of age drama, is loosely based on Spielberg's life, or his his childhood or something like that. So I mean, I wouldn't. It's not.
Who's in it?
Necessarily.
Who's in it?
Hold on. Professional. I only have someone from my notes, okay?
Some notes guy.
Seth Rogen, Julia Butters, Michelle Williams, Oaks Fegley, Sam Reckner, Paul Dano.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
a redeeming person.
When you say
our cast.
a semi-autobiography movie about Spielberg's life, for some reason, Seth Rogen is not the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, it's not necessarily about him. It's like, I don't know how, it's really hard to explain. Because it's like semi about his childhood, but it's not like gonna be, the character is not called Steven Spielberg. It's like,
Right.
I don't know,
Right.
it's weird.
It's like a Honey Boy effect.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing when you say loosely based on, like literally they could be a character that wakes up in the morning, and so too does the person that's based on, and then there you go. That's the whole
Exactly.
parallel.
Moving on from that very confusing story, Amandla Stenberg is in talks to join the Star Wars The Acolyte show. I don't really know much about her or The Acolyte show. It's a new Star Wars show coming at some point, and she's in talks to be the star of it. So we'll see what that ends up being. Is it Rami Malek or is it Rami Malek?
Raimi.
Okay. Florence Pugh and Benny Safdie have also joined the new Christopher Nolan movie Oppenheimer, and that's a ridiculously stacked cast.
Florence Pugh popping up all over the place now, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Next up, Apple acquires the new Adam McKay movie starring Jennifer Lawrence, following Theranos, some company, and the founder of that company, Elizabeth Holmes. It's some kind of like dramatic movie. I think she got in trouble with the law or something like that. So I think it was like a big up and coming company, and then she was caught in law trouble, and yeah, so it's about that. Then The Marvels is set to release on February 17th, 2023. That's the sequel to Captain Marvel. So if you're a fan of that movie, the second one's coming out in a little bit over a year. Aquaman 2 has finally wrapped filming. I know I'm very excited about that one. So I don't know if there's a release date yet, but I'm excited for it. Kayla, this one's for you. The Drive director, he's under fire for killing a pig in his new Netflix series. So
oh my gosh.
your boy, he's in a little bit of a slump right now. So
Dang.
yeah, I know. Maybe we should, wish him some good wishes.
Killed a pig for real?
Yeah.
For a movie?
Yeah.
I feel like there's easier ways we could have done this.
I mean, they did it in Apocalypse Now. They like murdered
That was
cows.
like in the 70s, though. I mean,
yeah.
not that excuses it, but it was. There wasn't like all the graphic, CGI stuff that there is now.
Yeah. I don't know. I read that. And I read it on the internet, so it's true. Oh no, my notes got messed up. Ren, you're messing me up here. Please don't flash anybody. Mike Flanagan, the director of Doctor Sleep and Midnight Mass, he is adapting Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, and it's gonna have Frank Langella, Carla Gugino. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Mary McDonnell, Carl Lumbly, and Mark Hamill will be starring in that movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Series.
He was on that.
Yeah,
I'm there for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Which one's playing Usher?
we don't know. That's who's starring in the show.
It was a joke. Okay.
I didn't pick up on it because I'm not paying attention.
Because it's called The House of Usher or whatever.
Hilarious.
So which one is playing Usher?
Hilarious. Okay, good one. Round of applause for Matt for his really good joke. The new Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore trailer dropped. I am not a Harry Potter fan or anything like that, so I didn't watch this. Did you all see it?
I did because it played before Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So
okay.
and it looked awesome.
It does
it
look
did
really
for,
good.
For I haven't been connected to the Harry Potter universe since the last Harry Potter movie. I haven't seen any of the Fantastic Beasts movies, but I say the more I see of them, the more I'm interested in them. Like I might check them out sometime because this one looked decent.
Well, the storyline sounds really cool. The fact that it's going to be about Dumbledore, so it's like
Right.
you actually, it looks good.
Yeah, I think the casting was good on that too.
Oh yeah.
But I guess really what's controversial is, well, not really so much
Oh, with the
controversial
Johnny
as you have Johnny Depp that's been removed as Grindelwald now and replaced. But I mean, I think they found a good replacement.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
It seems weird. I mean, I know a little bit about this, but like, so Johnny Depp's character had a really distinct look, but then they bring in Mads Mikkelsen, and he looks nothing like the character.
Yeah, no, and I think it's going to be this thing where it's going to be like they're not going to dress it at all. It's just going to be like,
Yeah, it just
it
seems
is
weird.
what it is. So.
I don't like that. Oh well. Next up, the Batwoman team from CW are set to develop a Gotham Knight series. I was kind of pumped about that until I saw the Batwoman team was developing it. So, yeah.
Hating on Batwoman now?
Yes, that's a very bad show.
Oh. Okay.
Kingsman 3, which is not what I just saw. Technically, what I saw is Kingsman 3, but the sequel to the Eggsy character is set to begin filming in September. So that movie will actually wrap up Eggsy's character. So if you're a big fan of the character, this is the last one to see him in.
It will be, like, definitely.
That's what they're saying.
Aww.
I know, I'm not pumped about that either.
Yeah.
Wilmer Valderrama is set to play Zorro for a Disney TV series. I don't know much about that. It's just he's playing Zorro, and Zorro's back. So,
where are you getting these names, Seth?
I don't know. It's just what I find.
But I'm there for a Zorro show. When was the last time we saw Zorro do anything?
Yeah, but not for that lead though. I feel like that's a really horrible choice.
I don't know who that is.
He's the dude. He's Fez from that '70s show.
I never watched that '70s show.
Oh no!
I don't know what else he's been in. NCIS. He's in NCIS.
He might surprise us.
Yeah, the later seasons though. No, I think that's an awful choice, and it will probably be an awful show. Just saying. What an awful choice. Ugh.
Glass half empty kind of gal.
No,
yeah. Anyway, we got some pretty awesome news coming up. Denis Villeneuve, the director of Dune, he is set to direct Rendezvous. I can't speak tonight. Rendezvous with Rama. It's a sci-fi novel. I think it's written by the same guy who did 2001: A Space Odyssey. I know it's one of Matt's favorite movies. But it's some big sci-fi movie that's happening. I'm glad you're getting a big kick out of this, Kayla. My inability to speak is very entertaining.
I swear I'm not. I'm not hiding a smile under here.
I can see you
Seth,
laughing.
have you been drinking?
No, I have my water right here. Thank you.
That's a clear liquid, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Starting.
I don't drink.
Slur your words there, pal.
Yeah. See, when I'm sober, I slur my words. I can only imagine how good of a speaker I'm going to be whenever I'm drunk.
Probably very eloquent.
Yeah, you will
I
probably
might just,
like Shakespearean.
Yeah, speaking.
I'll just be James Bond.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay. Final news piece: the Blue Beetle movie gets a 2023 release date and is no longer an HBO Max exclusive movie. So if you're a big fan of Blue Beetle, he will be in theaters now and not only on HBO Max.
Sweet. I don't know what that is.
It's a superhero in DC.
Oh. Well, the more you know.
The more you know is right. Well, Mr. Seth,
Not there for it.
very awesome. Thank you for sharing the news. Did anybody else have anything else that they wanted to add or anything they wanted to share?
No.
We're all very happy with what Jeff did.
Jeff. Jeff.
Jeff is Seth's undercover brother, who's also a twin.
But he's drunk all the time.
If your dad and mom watch this show, they just found out that you have a brother. So
Jeff
Don't you have a brother?
Yeah, he does.
Is his name Jeff?
twin brother named Jeff.
Is his name Jeff? Why aren't
No.
you answering?
But I want to. I want to build
My
the
name's Jeff.
anticipation.
Jeff is Seth's drunk version. Whenever Seth gets drunk, he becomes Jeff.
That's correct.
It's very much Jekyll and Hyde, which I would know anything about.
Because you're doing what with that? What's
I
the
am
name of that?
Plug.
I am making a movie, and yes, that is a cheap plug.
Yeah. Hey man, you gotta get it in there. So how's that
I'm
come
making-
along?
We are putting together a film schedule, hopefully this weekend, and hopefully start shooting in January. And it is, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it is a modern day remake of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story. It's just going to be called Hyde. And I'm very excited. I wrote this back in 2012. And since then, it's kind of just been in literally like what's known as development hell. That's like an actual film term for something that like just seems to never get made. We even started filming this back in 2013, and my lead actor actually unfortunately passed away. So it's just been one of those things where every couple of years I pick it back up and like, oh, we should do this, and then I add to it or take away from it. And last year I picked it back up and basically rewrote the whole thing, kept a lot of what was in it, but added a lot of stuff and took away a few things. And that's the version that we're going with. So I'm excited to finally get it going and get it over with, because it seems like I've been talking about it forever now, that I want to just do it and get it done so I can release it into the world.
Well, we wish you nothing but
Yes.
the best into the new year with that and the development phases and getting that shot. So I'm definitely interested in finding out what you're doing. Hopefully you'll continue to share the progress on that with you as we move forward with the Picture This Movie reviews. Anyways,
Sounded so robotic, like.
alrighty then. Apparently I need to talk about something. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we're going to be moving on to our feature presentation. We're going to be speaking about the movie that's brought us here today, known as Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm really excited that my co-hosts are getting in the Christmas spirit. A lot of folks ask, is this a Christmas movie? Is this a Halloween movie? The director says it's more of a Halloween movie, but as most of the fans, including myself, would tell you, you watch this at any time of year. I'd watch it every single day if I could personally. But I view it, you can watch it as a Christmas movie. It definitely has some Christmas elements to it. But I guess I'm kicking the show over to myself briefly for my stats. Jumping in real quick, this movie had an estimated budget of $18 million, and on its opening weekend brought in a grand total of $191,000. Yeah, so in the beginning, not such a great movie. However, overall, the movie ended up bringing in, as time progressed with video sales, $77,368,000. So it did return a nice little profit, putting this among the top of cult classic films as we know them. Kayla and I were talking about that before the show. This was released under Touchstone Pictures, which was a subsidiary of Disney. So we'll talk about that a little bit, at least into my review, but I don't really want to get in that much right now unless one of these guys touch it before I get to it. But basically, we're talking about Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town's bored with doing the same thing every year for Halloween. One day he stumbles into Christmas Town and is so taken with the idea of Christmas He tries to get his residents, bat schools, and goblins of Halloween Town to help him put on Christmas instead of Halloween. So we're going to follow the story of Jack Skellington and his take on Christmas as we know it, someone who's purely based in the Halloween universe. Overall, this movie scored, I believe it was an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Critics ended up giving it between 80 and 90% overall. But again, regarded pretty highly as a cult classic film and one of the best animated films of all time. But I'm actually going to ask you guys, since I'm hosting, if it would be okay if I go last to give my review, just because I wanted to touch on a couple things and I don't want to be speaking into myself, if that's okay.
That's okay.
I like that. Yeah.
All right, so if anybody would like to kick it off, is any volunteers for us for Halloween?
Okay.
Kay's gonna start it for us. All right.
I regard this movie as a Halloween movie. I don't really think it has Christmas in it, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas, but to me, it's more of a Halloween film, if anything. There is not a movie or a story that's anything quite like this. I don't even think up until now, you don't have anything that touches even close to this film, as far as in like the claymation wise, the story, the songs. I mean, everything fits together so smoothly that you can't help but to call this a work of art, because that's exactly what it is. And that's why it is so highly regarded. I mean, everyone knows about Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm forgetting about Seth here because he is first time watching it. So it's like, Seth. Anyway, you ask anyone and they know about it. It's like Disney and Nightmare Before Christmas go hand in hand. I mean, that's what it is. I love this film. I love the music in it. Zero is my favorite character in this movie. Love the dog. I mean, freaking ghost dog with a pumpkin nose is the coolest thing ever. If I could be a ghost dog with a pumpkin nose, I would be. Reincarnation, just looking right at you. So yeah, like I said, I love this movie. I don't want this to be a long thing because I know Dan has a lot to say. It's just one of those fun, fantastic films that you can watch at any age, at any time during the year, and you can sing along right there and have as much fun as you would at Halloween or Christmas any time of the year. So I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I think Tim Burton is a fantastic storyteller, and I don't think it gets much better than that, to be honest. So, there we go.
Mr. Seth, I'm going to kick it over to you next.
Okay. So I went into this one with an open mind because I know how much Dan enjoys this movie. And I know how popular it is. And almost immediately I was like, this is not for me whatsoever. I really don't have hardly any positives to say about it. It's not for me. I don't like that kind of movie. I love Tim Burton, but this is just not my thing, like at all. I was sitting here thinking, like, what positives can I think of this?
Well, what negatives would you have?
I don't like the music. The art style felt like, I mean, it's unique, but like, it's just, I don't like that kind of art style. Then just the story was just not interesting to me at all. Like, sure, it's like, oh yeah, Halloween Town and Christmas Town or whatever. Like that's kind of neat, I guess, but just how they did it, I'm like, meh. I didn't care, like, at all. I did not feel myself wanting to watch any part of it. So it felt a lot longer than what it was. I don't want to trash this movie too hard, but or more than I already have. So I'm just gonna say 2 out of 10 for me. That's about as high as I'm gonna go.
Wow. Okay.
Shots
All right.
fired.
Mr. Matt, why don't you go ahead and kick us off next, please?
I watched this movie when it was brand new back in 1993. I did not watch it in theater, so actually I might not have watched it in 93, so I take that back. I think it came out late Dan, you might know. It came out late, 93.
Yes, it did.
Okay, so I watched it on video when it was brand new, just released on VHS. So I'd say probably a few months after that. So it might have been 94. And I have watched it at least once every year since. Opposite of Kayla, to me, this is a Christmas movie. And that's why, it is a controversy. It's not really a big deal, but it's like well, which one do you think it is? Kind of like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Everyone's got a different opinion. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but this is. I watch this every Christmas, and this year no exception. I love the music. I wake up, there's times randomly, not even close to Christmas or Halloween time, that I wake up, not even lying, not even just saying this for this show. I will wake up with that song, Making Christmas, fa la la, in my head, just randomly. Or if it's not that one, I'll have Something's Up with Jack, Something's Up with Jack in my head, just random. It is because I have seen this movie so many times, and I do love this movie. Again, not to just combat everything Seth said, but I think it has a great story. It's got a great love story. It's got a great, the whole, I don't want to call it a universe, but the whole thing where they're in this, I'll just call it universe. And then for him to go exploring and find something else that was kind of like the multiverse before the multiverse, it was, he opened the forbidden door and found something different and wanted to bring that something different to his town because he thought he liked what was over here. So he wanted to bring it back with him and change things where he's from, only to, I'm not even going to say spoilers because at this point, only to realize that maybe the grass isn't always greener, or in this case, merrier, on the other side, because when he tries to accomplish this, it literally blows up in his face. And, I think it has that message. So, you have to kind of look for it, but I think it has that message. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It has characters that you can really get behind. I resonate with Jack a lot, which sounds weird because he is just an animated skeleton. But I don't, at this point I'm rambling. So I'd say Nightmare Before Christmas, 8 out of 10 for me. Every year watch, sometimes multiple times a year. But definitely Christmas movie for me.
Awesome. So I'm gonna apologize because I am gonna at the end of my review hit some facts for this. If you came here for Picture This, you're either here for us, which we really hope you are, or you're here because you saw Nightmare Before Christmas, and I would do some justice to that while we're talking about it. So, I was alive when this movie came out. I was 2 years old, so I can guarantee I did not see it in movie theaters. However, I do remember my mom and dad taking out the VHS tape and sticking that in and watching that. And I remember the tape itself was, for some reason, just that tape cassette just sticks out in my mind, the artwork and everything on the front cover. But yeah. Oh, sorry, Matt. You want to?
I really don't mean to interrupt you because that would bother me if someone interrupted me. But it just jumped into my head. I remember. Do you remember what the trailers were for that VHS tape? Do you remember what played before the VHS tape?
I cannot remember.
It was a Gargoyles lengthy.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like a lengthy, not a whole episode, but it was like a lengthy trailer for Gargoyles, which was a movie / show. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I remember too when I was younger, there was a board game of that came out. You play the Gargoyles board game and all that fun stuff. But
yeah, and it's on Disney Plus as well, kids. If you haven't seen Gargoyles in 30 years,
growing up with it, yeah.
So but there was Gargoyles. And I think there was something else that I don't remember exactly, but I just remember I always had to fast forward the Gargoyles trailer because it was forever long.
I feel like they had also maybe a thing for the Haunted Mansion in Disney. Like I feel like there might have been something to do with the trees or something on the beginning of that, or I might be completely confusing that with another thing.
That one's not jumping out at me.
But yeah, so talking about this movie, I was young when I saw it. I did love the songs. I think the character Jack Skellington is really what caught me too. And honestly, not only grass is always greener, but another message. Like I think Jack really found himself, what he was good at, what he was meant to do. And in the first part of the movie, he's kind of stalled out. He's like, man, we do the same thing all the time, exactly what Matt was saying. So he tries something new. It does blow up in his face, but ultimately he comes to find that love for what he did in the beginning. Like that gets rekindled, and he ignites his romance with Sally, which is awesome to watch to bloom there. So just to go over this, it is called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. However, Matt had pointed out last week that he was not the director of this. It was Henry Selick. So Tim Burton originally came up with the concept of Nightmare Before Christmas in about 1982. But it was not in the form that it's currently in. It was just a short poem and only had 3 characters. It had Jack Skellington, Zero, and Santa Claus. And originally Tim Burton, he was very much inspired by things like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and those kind of short claymation type pieces. And he wanted to do something similar that was seasonal. I believe his idea had it more in mind to be a Halloween special. However, he was inspired by Christmas classics. So I think even in his mind, like he's torn. And what really inspired this was when you go into the store or whatever, you see in part of the season, they're trying to get all these sales for both seasons. So Halloween stuff next to Christmas stuff. And that just kind of kicked it off in his mind. And really, like I said, down to the idea, it's kind of a concept that's really evenly divided between the 2 seasons. So I don't think this debate's ever going to be over. It can be both Christmas and a Halloween movie. But with that being said, Tim Burton got his start in animation for Disney. He worked on movies like Fox and the Hound, and that's actually how he ended up meeting Henry Selick. Tim Burton was off working on the Batman movie when this was actually being made, which kept him off of that, but he did end up being a producer. By this time, he had already gotten some standing as a director, and they thought that he'd bring more people into the movie theater having his name associated with it, rather than to be like, okay, it's a Henry Selick film. So it's kind of a marketing ploy, which unfortunately kind of backfired in the beginning, at least. With that, this was produced by Touchstone rather than Disney. Disney really didn't want to take the risk to do something different than its cookie cutter approach with Disney princesses and princes and things like that. And they just didn't want to take that gamble. However, if you watch in the film, the vampire Teddy character is loosely based off of Mickey Mouse. There's also a few other homages that are built into the film to kind of tie in Disney. They had to ask permission to do that, and they did get accepted. A couple things, like Disney had made a note before the movie was made. They wanted Jack Skellington to have eyes because it was largely regarded in that time that an animated character could not express emotion without having eyeballs. So Tim Burton had challenged that. The director challenged that. They ultimately won out. And I think we, at least Matt, you, Kayla, can agree that he did have a range of emotion even as a skeletal character. And the thing is, they made hundreds of faces for this clay thing. And I think that the thing that stands out to me as an adult is to get 1 second of filming in this took 24 still photo shots to make. Ultimately, this movie is comprised of over 100,000 still image photos. The hardest of which to get was the scene that you were talking about, Matt, where he opens the door to Christmas Town. To get the reflection just right on that knob took them, I think they said, like 3 weeks just to get that straight. Like, and we're talking about, they had a team of builders, set builders that were called in that Tim Burton had worked with on different productions. But I feel like the style of this very artistic. Like there's a lot of layers. When you watch it, you can see the texture, and I don't think anything else like the animation on like the newer CGI really gives you that feeling of like a textile kind of thing. Like CGI has come a long way in future years, but super amazing. Just a lot of work that went into this. Um, and again, now I feel like I'm rambling, but with Nightmare Before Christmas, it really still captures my childhood. I love it. Danny Elfman, Tim Burton and Danny Elfman had talked about the movie. Tim would tell him like a couple parts, like, okay, on the first part of the movie, we're gonna try to do this. Danny Elfman would be like, okay, go back. 3 days later, he came back with a song for it. All of the songs for this movie were written before the screenplay had actually been finished for the entire film.
Oh, wow.
And it took 3 years to make this movie. It really is a labor of love for everybody who was involved in it. Another interesting fact, originally there was going to be a lot more poetry involved in this to kind of tie it back to its roots. So they were going to bring in Patrick Stewart to do it in, if you remember him from Star Trek. At the end of the movie, he was going to do a brief little blurb. And if you guys end up getting the DVD for this, or the Blu-ray disc, there's a bonus feature on there where you can actually listen to that part of the poetry that talks about Jack after this happened. So one thing that was on that bonus feature was Jack ends up having children. The narrator asked Jack, knowing all you do now, would you do it again? And he said, what do you think? Absolutely. And then also another twist, this had an alternate ending. Oogie Boogie was not going to be just full of bugs. He was actually going to be Dr. Finkelstein, because he was slighted because he built Sally for himself as a love interest. And then Sally ultimately fell in love with Jack instead. So there's a whole other story arc that they would have gone that route. So I just thought that would have been a cool ending regardless, but different. But I'm not going to throw too much out there. I just really love this film. It's in my top 10. Personally, I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10 just because of how it's impacted me. I really love the style. I loved what happened later. The director ended up directing James and the Giant Peach. You see Jack make an appearance as the pirate captain. It's a brief scene. You'll blink and miss it. And also in Coraline, when the other mother is making breakfast, it's his face that comes out. I believe it's the eggs, like it's in the shape of his face. So that director took that with him as he went on in his animation career, and definitely still shows up today. But I mean, we go out in our hallway. I'll send Matt a picture. Maybe he can include it. We have like pops down our entire wall of Jack Skellington and Sally and the crew, but a lot of cool things. Danny Elfman's in a cameo in this. He was inside one of the instruments that the guys were playing, and originally Tim Burton also is going to make an appearance as a severed head that the vampires were playing like hockey with. But very cool stuff they play with. And I'm sorry, Seth, that you didn't enjoy it, but I do appreciate that you at least watched it for me. At least you maybe I'll have to watch another Mad Max in the future or something. But
don't say that.
but that's all I have on that. And thank you guys for tuning in with us and talking about that. If you have any comments, notes, please let us know. I really don't want to end the broadcast here. I actually want to kick it around, and maybe we can do like what we're looking forward to or looking back over 2021. I know Matt has an idea he wants to put out to the crew and also the rest of our watchers regarding the movies of 2021. So I'm going to kick that back over to him real quick and just thank you for tuning in for that.
Okay, so do you also want me to announce my pick for the start of the new season now, or do you want me to just do that after?
I'm sorry, guys. Yes, please do the pick. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the first season ending episode we've had, so I'm not too rehearsed on that yet. But yes, Matt, please let us know your pick.
Well, we'll go with what you said we'll go with at first. So the year is coming to an end. this is the last episode of this show for this season. We will be back in January. And what I like to do every year, just for myself, is make a top 10 list every year of best movies from that year. So just like Seth brought the news to the show, something that was in our personal lives out to the public in the show, I would like to bring that from my personal life into the show. And I'm giving you guys homework. I don't usually like throw around my, hey, I'm the boss hat very often, but I'm going to give you guys homework for next season. When we come back, in addition to talking about the movie that we're going to talk about, I want to discuss everyone's top 10 picks of 2021, because by then it will be 2022 and everything that is going to come out will have obviously came out. Only reason I didn't want to do it this episode is because obviously Spider-Man is a big one, and Seth hasn't seen it. I wasn't even sure that I was going to get to see it before this show. In fact, had we done this on Tuesday, I don't think any of us would have seen it yet. So there's that, and then The Matrix is coming out, and then there's a few other things coming out the rest of this year. So just to be fair and give every movie a chance, I'm not that saying you got to watch all those movies, but so everything can be out there. Let's make a top 10 list, each of us, for best of 2021 and discuss next season.
I like that idea.
And then just while I have the floor, and then I'll give it back to Dan. So as the rotation, it would be my pick next. And so I have the lucky, drawing blanks, it's getting late. I am the lucky one to get to pick the season premiere episode of Picture This season 2. And I was going to go with one of my picks, which I still am going with one of my picks, but you'll find out what I mean in a second. I had to take something out because I'm just going down my list of 45 movies that I have for us to watch at some point. And Dan brought it to my attention that we inadvertently discussed each of the co-hosts here father's favorite movies. It wasn't planned, but we did it. Seth, obviously, with his dad, shout out, by the way, because he left us some funny, awesome comments on the YouTube channel. So we'll take more of those, Mr. Seth's dad, Mr. Curtis. But Seth with his dad and Cool Hand Luke, and then we discussed just last week, we discussed True Romance, right? Yeah, True Romance, which was Kayla's dad's favorite movie. And then we discussed before that Home Alone 2, which Dan and his dad, really loved. So I feel like I gotta pick my dad's favorite movie, which was like pulling teeth to get a straight answer out of him. And I still have not getting a straight answer out of him. So I'm picking what I believe to be the answer. When I asked him, I told him what we were doing and why. And I asked him what his favorite movie was of all time. He said, oh boy, I don't know. And I said, well, you got to pick one, like something that you could just watch over and over and over again. And he gave me 3 movies. One of them Seth would have had a ball with. But I'm not even going to say it. I'll say it off air. But it is a Mel Gibson movie. But the other 2, then he named something else, which again, I'll say off air. But then the third one he picked really hit me because it's also not only on my list of things for us to watch on the show, but it's in my top 10 of all time. And it is something that my dad and I quote to each other and have quoted to each other all of our lives since about 1997 when this movie came out. So we talk and quote this movie on the regular. And when you hear it, what it is, you're going to be like, what? I'll explain next year, next season. So that long rambling gets us to my dad's favorite movie, which I believe to be his favorite movie, because I know I've watched it with him multiple times, whereas the others I've only watched with him maybe once, is The Edge, starring Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. It is a wilderness survival movie, but it is also so much more. And it is streaming on Stars, which for those in here are wondering, yes, we still have the Movie Club Stars app. So you can watch it there, but you have many weeks to watch it. It's not something you have to rush into, but it is an action thriller. And it is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I also believe it to be, it is one of my dad's favorite movies of all time, but I believe it, if my dad had to pick one, I believe that's the one he would pick, because he didn't pick one. I kept pushing and he just wouldn't pick one. He wouldn't narrow it down. So that is going to be our season premiere. We're going to be talking about 1997's The Edge.
I think it's funny you mentioned that movie. I think that was the first movie I ever watched that you recommended to me, if I remember correctly.
I don't know watching order, but it might have been. I know it was one of the very first ones I ever recommended to you.
I know it was. I remember distinctly like buying that movie. I was like, my new friend Matt told me to watch this movie. So my mom and I sat down, we watched it. We both loved it. Thought it was great. I'll try to bring in the whole family this time when we watch it, though. Maybe we have some special guests for the season premiere.
Your brother Jeff, right?
And my imaginary brother Jeff, yes. I actually almost did have a special guest tonight, a surprise guest, but she is doing lesson plans and schoolwork she's a teacher. So she was a little preoccupied. Yeah.
Did she like this movie?
Yes.
Or dislike this movie? She did like this movie.
She liked it.
Thank you, Seth's mom.
Yeah.
It's your mom? It was your mom?
Yes, who else would it have been? Not Jeff.
Seth is a very single person, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a hit him up. He's free. He's single. Comments.
He attracts crazy chicks.
Slide into those DMs of his.
Biggest
my
fault,
cat.
His biggest fault is he doesn't like Nightmare Before Christmas, guys.
Or The Dark Knight.
You know, good movies in general.
He doesn't like good movies, but beyond that, he's a great guy.
No, Seth's a great guy. And honestly, to kind of go off on this note, I'm really glad that we ended up doing this Picture This. It was nice meeting you, Seth. I actually enjoyed Wyatt when he was here. He brought some different stuff to the show. Yeah, Wyatt was a cool guy, and hopefully he stops in sometime. But Matt,
he's not anymore, but he was a cool guy.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. But Matt too, like just to catch up with you, watch movies, and always be here, you know, with my wife, do something with you. But ultimately this year, I'm glad that we did this and hope we continue to do so for a while. So sorry to get sentimental on you guys, but did want to share that for the finale. But any other notes before we end up wrapping this puppy up?
Are we saying like what we're thankful for this end of the year, since the end of the year things?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm not sure what I'm thankful for yet.
I'll go then. Thankful for the new friends that I made and branching out a little bit. I distinctly remember before episode 1, like kind of freak out a little bit. And I was like, I don't normally like to put myself out there like that or meet new people or anything for that matter. So this is something new and I enjoyed it. I definitely got to watch some different movies that I never would have watched otherwise. And no, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to season 2.
Oh, you, Matt, you got anything you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for every day that I get to wake up and breathe. I know that's very cliche, but I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful for my family and my friends. I'm thankful for this show. This the Bounce Off Dan gives. I look forward to this every week, and even though we're only going to be gone a few weeks, even though we're only going to be gone a handful of weeks, I know just even this, we usually record on Tuesdays. I know I've mentioned before, and then we release the episode Sundays. This week we're recording on a Friday, so just that gap from Tuesday to Friday felt forever. And there were other than Thursday when I went and saw Spider-Man, Tuesday and Wednesday were like, can't we just record the show? Like, can't we just do this? It's the highlight of my week most weeks, and I love getting to talk with each of you, and like all of you really, I don't see in person hardly ever. Dan and Kayla, I see you guys more now than before, whereas Seth, I saw you a little bit, but now I never see you.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I saw you twice.
Was it?
Maybe
Yeah, it was
three
twice.
times. Maybe
It
three
was two. It was
times.
two. It was two. And
Yeah.
technically three, yeah, because
Yeah, it's three.
you drove by Caden's house. That was
Yep,
when I
yep.
initially met you.
Yep.
And we
yep.
spent like 3 months to hang out. And then another 3 or so months to hang out again at your Halloween party. And then I never saw you again.
You
That
haven't
was
seen.
my own doing, though. It was my own doing.
Yeah, Seth's a very homebody, like he said, doesn't branch out, and I think we're getting him there though. He's branching out, he's growing those branches, and we're a part of that. So it's good to see and good to watch. So anyway, I'm thankful for you, Seth, and your branches, which sounds dirtier than I mean it. And I'm thankful for you guys, Dan and Kayla. I love you all, and yeah, I'm gonna stop now.
All right, does that leave it to me then? I'm ending this thankful party. Is that where we're going with? Okay. So I am thankful too for every single one of you. I don't branch out either. I'm a super awkward, really annoying person to probably have a conversation with. But I've made some friends this year too, including you, Seth. You are in that group of friends. I consider you my friend. Oh my God. Matt, you too. This has been absolutely a wonderful experience to talk with every single one of you. Wyatt included, you're out there somewhere. It has been, because I absolutely obviously love watching movies, love listening to music, love pop culture kind of things. So this has been really great, because I could probably talk to myself for hours, but it's so much more fun to talk to you guys where I actually get a response. So that is what I'm thankful for each and every single one of you, because this has been great. I mean, it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed the movies, whether I've given them bad ratings or not. I mean, I haven't seen those movies before, so it's been an experience, and it's been a great one. It really has. And I appreciate every single time we get to meet together. It's been awesome. You guys are fantastic. And I am really looking forward to seeing your faces next season too.
Well, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. Again, thank you for tuning in to Picture This Movie Reviews, formerly MDVA Movie Club. If you'd like to follow us, you can hop on our semi-active social accounts on Picture This Movie Reviews, or at Picture This Movie Reviews on Instagram. We also have our studio, is it 59?
Studio 29, youtube.com/studio29.
Maybe in like 30
Studio
years,
69. As we get older, that number just keeps going up. So just follow that. But again, we couldn't do it without you guys. Really thankful for the folks that have put the comments up, gave us some movie ideas. Continue to do that. We're looking forward to starting off a new, fresh season. Mr. Mark Winstead, shout out to you. We're going to be reviewing one of your favorite movies. Yeah, I think secretly it might be your favorite movie, but definitely looking forward to it. But thank you guys. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll catch you on the flip side. And as always, Matt, what do we say?
Love one another.
Got it. See you guys.